Welcome to Fair Game. I'm Kristine Leahy, and my guest today is the current WBO Welterweight Champion. He has a perfect record of 34-0, 25 wins via knockout. Please welcome Terence "Bud" Crawford. You and I have something in common. We both like to go to Laker games. You were up in the suite the other night. I was down in the stands. How are you a Laker fan when you're from Nebraska?
Oh, I've been a Laker fan. I think that was the first team I ever watched as a kid growing up, being that we don't have any professional teams, so I had to adopt another team from a different state.
So are you a fan of the fact that LeBron plays in LA now?
I'm not a big fan of, him playing in LA, but, he's here now, so I got to roll with the punches.
Why not? Why aren't you a fan of it?
Because he's always been going against us. If you look at the history of him and Kobe, they competing against each other, and, they trying to compare him. And I'm a big Kobe fan, so, it's kind of odd that you be against somebody and then now they on the same team as you, so it was kind of strange.
So you always loved Nebraska, though. You're from there, you still fight there. What is it that you love so much about your hometown?
Oh, I love my hometown because they support big events. They die-hard fans.
And now you have your own street named after you in Nebraska, which is pretty cool. And I heard your mom lives on the street. So when you have to send her mail, or if you're sending her a check, you're saying like from Terence Crawford to Terence Crawford Street. Is that how that goes?
Terence "Bud" Crawford.
Oh, Terence "Bud" Crawford Street. That is pretty cool. What that mean to you?
It's nice. It means a lot, being that that's where I grew up at. Spent most of my years in that house. I go there every day. So when I'm gone, dead and gone, my kids can look up and be like, look at Dad Street.
I love your style because even though you are such a well-known boxer, you're really just a low-key guy. You're not this Hollywood flashy kind of guy. And a lot of times boxers will have like rappers or huge musicians walk them into the ring. You had Warren Buffett, which I think is so cool. Explain to me how that happened.
Oh man, Warren and I is both Omahans, born and raised. He's an icon of the city, and so am I. And we just hooked up as he's a fan of mine, I'm a fan of his, and that's it.
I always love to hear the story of how boxers get into what they're doing. For you, your childhood was rough, right?
Right.
What was the moment that you really realized that this was something you wanted to do?
Probably when I had to say 15, about 15, 16.
What happened?
I started when I was 7, getting in trouble and stuff, but I had got kicked out of the gym for not listening. Yeah.
For not listening?
For not listening. Okay. I was just hard-headed and stuff. So the coach actually kicked me out of the gym. So I was going to football, basketball, wrestling, baseball, playing other sports. But when I came back, it was like kind of like the same. Like, who cares? But once I got into a different age group and I started winning those big tournaments and going to travel the world, I just figured, like, I'm pretty good at this. I need to take it serious. And that's when I started taking it serious and started really focusing on my craft.
Was that your only love, or did you have other passions at the time?
Oh, I wanted to play in the NBA. I wanted to play in the NFL. But it was something about boxing that stood out because I used to get into it with my teammates on the football field or on the basketball field because I would try to blame them for like us losing or something. So it would be like, why you dropped the ball? Or why you didn't catch this? Or, and in boxing, you don't got nobody to blame but yourself.
Just you.
So it was just like, yeah, maybe boxing is for you.
So the team sports really weren't sitting with you.
Right.
You needed to be individual. The story about you and your mom growing up is really interesting to me. She was really, really tough on you. Is that right?
Correct.
What kind of things was she doing?
Oh, it was just like how she supported me, I would say. Deep down in her heart, I know she wanted me to win, but as a kid coming up, you take it different approach of how your parents, talk to you and how they motivate you. And my mom, she motivated me a different way. Like, she'd tell me, oh, you ain't gonna go out there and do nothing. You're gonna go out there and get your ass kicked, or yeah, whatever. But then I come back and I win, and she'd be like, oh, you got lucky. So I'd be like, man, I gotta do something. I gotta win even more. But at the same time of her telling me this, like, she's showing off my belts and stuff. Like, look at this belt he won. Look at this belt he won. He think he all that. You know what I mean? But it was motivating.
So you were trying to prove her wrong.
Right.
But you knew that she loved you, and it wasn't it true she like didn't tell you she loved you.
I was just about to say, like, she don't like the word love, so like she'll rarely tell you like she love you and stuff like that. So it was just like tough love.
Was that hard for you?
Yeah, it was hard, but it just motivated me to go even harder in what I was doing. I train harder, run harder, fight harder.
I heard that she also used to pay kids in the neighborhood to try to fight you.
No, it was just this one moment where it was a lot of kids outside, and she told them, oh, I'll give y'all $10 if y'all can beat up. But with the gloves, though, it wasn't like fist fight. So everybody took their turn with the gloves, and I just beat them all.
Your mom sits ringside at your fights, and she's pretty animated. Do you ever hear her or see her, maybe in between rounds?
Oh, she been coming to my fights since I was a kid. The ones that was in like Omaha and stuff like that. But yeah, I hear her. Like my last fight in the 10th round, going into the 10th round, she yelling at me, talking about, oh, it's over with. You need to knock him out. And I'm looking at her, and she was like, knock him out. I'm like, all right.
Is your relationship different now that you're older?
It's been good. You know, it's just my mom, I know her in and out, so I know, you know, how to deal with her. And like the older I get, she still think I'm her little baby because I'm her last child. So I gotta tell her sometimes, like, Mom, I ain't a baby no more. I'm grown. I'm 31. Like, she just be like, well, you still my baby. Like, I had you. So we got a great relationship. A great relationship. Well, I got a great relationship with her, my dad, my whole family.
Yeah, what's your relationship like with your dad?
Oh, great. My dad, he's always been there as well, coming to my fights out of town when he can, because he was in the Navy. So he's always been supportive of any and everything that I ever did.
You have 5 kids now. Is your approach different with your family?
Yeah, way different. My son, he's a wrestler. He's actually ranked #1 in the nation right now. I just try to let him know, like, you got to train hard and you got to practice hard instead of going in there and practice and playing around a lot.
Would he ever want to box?
He just recently asked me. I've been keeping him away from boxing.
Why?
Because I box. I don't want him to play boxing or football.
Why is that?
It's rough. I play both sports, and it's just rough on you. You know, head trauma, injuries, all that. I just can't see myself watching my son get hurt.
Huh.
Yeah.
How about your mom, though, watching you?
My family come from boxers and wrestlers. So my dad boxed, his dad boxed, my uncle boxed, her brother boxed. So she already used to it, you know. So I'm the one that went the farthest because none of them turned professional. But me turning professional and then, like, nah.
Do you fear that that's something that you're going to have to deal with?
Oh, no. I move my head.
You do? You move your head. Hey, maybe he'd be good at moving his head, though.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't want to take the chance. But if that's something that he really want to do, then I got to support him and I got to stand behind him and just make sure that that's something that he really want to do in life, because it's going to take every and anything to get to that point.
Training takes a lot out of you, and what I love about you is even during training, you make sure that you don't miss any of your kids' events. You have 5 kids. That must be so hard, but it must mean the world to you to go do that if you're going to miss out on training for it.
Oh, of course. My kids come first, bottom line. So I don't care if I'm training for the Undefeated World championship of the world, I'm going to make it to my kids' birthday parties, their birthday, or anything special to them, because that's what they're going to remember growing up for the rest of their life, is their dad was always there no matter what.